Hey everybody, welcome back to Streams of Fitness. A couple things I wanted to talk about today. What those are fundamentals and foundations, building a good foundation. I think too often when we talk about achieving goals or getting to a certain place, we want to go from 0 to 100. We want to just do the thing and get there and enjoy the the fruits of the success, and we don't give enough thought sometimes to the journey or the steps that take to get there. So I think that's a really important realization to have. And like in a lot of things that I talk about, there's definitely carryover in finding success in whatever goals you are, whether those are your fitness goals, your physical fitness goals, your relationship goals for that matter, maybe your financial goals. What are you looking to do with your finances, and how do you get from here, being where you are now, to there, to what that thing is. So just want to really pose some questions that we ought to be thinking about. And again, I'll start talking about fundamentals. I'll give you an example from an athletic slash fitness standpoint of some things that I've experienced, that I've gone through. Just being a little kid and wanting to do well playing basketball, or wanting to do well when I ran track. I'll start with the track example, where I used to run, and I used to think, well, I want to be on the relay team. I want to run this race, and it wasn't my best event. So talking about like the 400 meters. I was actually a pretty accomplished 800 meter runner, but that wasn't an exciting or I guess sexy enough event. In the grand scheme of things, people were more impressed by the sprinters in the 400 meter, and I'm one of them, even though I was good. So with that in mind, just looking at what do I have to do to get from here to there. To be better at the 400 meters, I had to do some more sprint intervals, some things that I wasn't really accustomed to doing. You train for the 800 meters in a little different way. Work on longer intervals, 600, maybe 1,000 meters, those type of intervals. Occasionally run 400s or 500s or something, but a little different than training for the 400. So in wanting to get good at that, I had to work on some of those other things and work on technique, or things that I didn't necessarily work on as far as fine tuning. I also used to triple jump. You can't just run down the runway and jump. There's a lot of technique to it. So what do you do in the way of improving your technique? You work on bounding, you work on your hops, you work on skips, so you work on your speed, you work on flexibility, you work on very specific things in order to get better. But it's not just keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting to improve. Basketball the same way. You'll just show up and play. I know I always had a lot of pushback when I coached with kids that just wanted to roll the ball out and play. They thought they were getting better by just rolling the ball out and playing. I know from my playing days that when you work on the individual things that contribute to you being proficient at a skill, then those things will show when you get to the point of performing in a 5-on-5 team concept. So how's your ball handling? What are you proficient at in traffic versus in space? Are you a person that can create your own shot? You have to work on these individual things, and maybe that's a ball drill, maybe that's footwork. A lot of footwork can be done without a ball. You do that by yourself in a gym, or maybe not even in a gym, just kind of visualizing the footwork that you need to do. But it's just a willingness to do those type of things, and the fundamentals, and work on those things. So very important to be able to do those things. Looking at people that are into bodybuilding, or just maybe even looking at just cosmetics. I'm at the point now. I'm not competing. I'm not trying to be an Olympian or trying to make anything professionally. Those days are long gone. But so yeah, like I was saying, when when I was looking to compete at a higher level in athletics, there were certain things that I had to work on, and come to grips with the fact that I had to work on. Usually weren't things that I arrived at on my own, because not having had the knowledge of how to work out those very specific things. With good coaching, sometimes you get knowledge about mechanics of things and ways to work on certain things. I found out as a runner that hip strength is very important. Hip strength keeps coming up over and over again. I've worked with plenty of therapists and strength trainers that have done the most boring, mundane exercises you can imagine, with bands or with just the resistance of the therapist pushing on your thigh while you try to lift the slightest degree to flex your hip, and just little things like that make so much difference, and that'll allow you, instead of just jumping straight to, well, let me do some squats. I've never been a person that was very good at doing very deep squats. Some things require you to be able to deep squat in order to get the maximum strength value out of that. And so improving in that type of thing is going to be twofold for somebody like me, where I've got to improve hip flexibility to be able to get into a deep squat, and then I've got to improve hip strength. So just those little type of details are something to think about. Have a willingness to do when you're looking at achieving certain goals. Financially, look at the same type of thing. Are you looking to acquire some property? What have you been doing as far as saving money? Have you been doing that purposefully? Have you just have a very specific time frame and a very specific property that you've got your eye on? Are you targeting a property that's legitimately in your price range? How's your credit profile? Is that in a good place? Do you have a debt to income ratio that is favorable? Have you taken time to review if you've got any derogatory items on your credit, and maybe look at how to remove those things from your credit? Have you taken time to make sure there's not a bunch of inquiries? So things like that'll, instead of just going to, I'm going to buy that property, there's a whole bunch of steps into, I'm going to buy that property, or I'm qualified to buy that property, and I'm going to make this much money after I buy this property. You gotta get the property first. So entrepreneurial wise, my business is gonna be $1 million, $10 million business, or I'm gonna have a huge following on social media that's gonna help me to, that's gonna be my clientele, and I'm going to, get there by selling everybody a $100 item. What is that item? Where am I getting these followers and this clientele? How am I reaching them? What's my messaging going to be? What's going to be my, way back from that, what's my avatar? Who am I targeting? What's the target audience for the information that I'm trying to sell? Am I trying to sell information? Am I just giving information? Am I providing a service? So these are all things that need to be discussed and come to grips through when you're trying to achieve a goal. What are the identified potential intermediate steps to get from here to there? What are the measurable goals in getting from here to there? Because obviously it's not, I'm an entrepreneur, I don't have an idea, suddenly I've got an idea, tomorrow I'm a millionaire. That's not how it works. It would be great if that's how it works. If that works for you, then I'd like to meet you, and I'll be really impressed with how you did that. But for the rest of us, it's going to be measuring the small things that get you there. How do I get from 0 to 10 clients? How do I get, backing up from that, how do I get the information to be useful to those clients? How do I get how do I serve? Maybe that's the thing to really look at when you're trying to be an entrepreneur. What is the service that you're going to be providing? How do you provide that? How do you get people interested in the things that you're providing? So just a lot to think about. I'm sure there will be a part 2 or maybe a part 3 of this video, but just wanted to, again, focus on fundamentals, foundations of getting started at things and getting to achieve your goals. Again, if you like this content, please do hit that follow button and hit the like button. Follow us at Streams of Fitness, at Streams of Fitness on Instagram, at Streams of Fitness on YouTube and all the other socials. So, signing off. Thank you.